tremendous. In Washington, early afternoon in the States, an hour after the attack began, Secretary of State Cordell Hull, well aware of what is transpiring in Hawaii, erupts when given a letter from the Japanese breaking off peace talks. This day also has numerous stories of irony and heroism. The Nevada, on the south end of Ford Island, opens fire at 0802, and although her captain and senior officers are not on board, Lieutenant Commander J.F. Thomas ignores his wounds and gets the ship underway, even with a huge hole in her port bow. He is able to beach the ship in the channel and not block the channel. Also on the Nevada, 21-year-old Joseph Tossick Jr., officer of the deck, mans an anti-aircraft battery and continues to direct fire at enemy aircraft even after a bullet passes through his thigh. He refuses to leave his comrades, refuses to leave the battle. There are also stories of irony and humor. The commander of naval forces on Hawaii, Admiral Husband Kimmel, is standing in front of a window, observing the destruction, when a bullet breaks through the window and grazes his chest. He is unhurt, but the Admiral states, considering the circumstances, it would have been more merciful if I had been killed. Yeoman First Class Leonard Webb rushes to get his wife and child to the car. This is his story. When we're almost to the car, my wife says, "The baby doesn't have any diapers. Get some." This is Armageddon, the end of the world, and my wife has me chasing diapers? As word of the extent of the devastation reaches Washington, the country is stunned. Later that day, President Franklin Roosevelt addresses a shocked nation.
December 7, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. With confidence in our armed forces, with the unbounding determination of our people, we will gain the inevitable triumph, so help us God.
At 10 o'clock, the last of the strike force makes its way back to the waiting carriers, and the Japanese ships begin the long journey back to Japan. The attack lasted only 120 minutes, but American bases lay in ruins, smoke billowing up from the devastation. 8 battleships, 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 4 auxiliary ships, 18 ships in all, lay floundering in the oil-covered waters of Pearl Harbor. More than 350 aircraft stand broken or completely destroyed. In reality, America's Pacific Fleet has simply ceased to exist. But most horrific, 3,500 Americans lay dead or wounded in what remains of Pearl Harbor and Hickam Air Force Base. The Japanese lost 29 planes and less than 200 men. The Army and Navy spend the rest of the day attending to the wounded and putting out fires. The Arizona alone burns for 3 days. Ladies and gentlemen, as the airplanes form up, come around for one last pass, let me tell you the rest of the story. Yes, President Roosevelt issued a call to arms, and America listened. No one expected the surprise attack that fateful day. America was not ready for war, but America responded. America pulled together.